Picture two men, same city, same age, same alarm clock. One drags himself to a job he stopped believing in years ago and tells himself someday things will be different. The other wakes up before the city does. No phone, no noise. Every hour of his day belongs to him. Same world, completely different existence. The difference isn't talent, it isn't luck, it's what they value. Billionaires don't wake up asking, how do I make more money? They ask, how do I need less permission? How do I own more choices? How do I wake up tomorrow and owe nobody my time? Today, we pull back the curtain on the 8 things billionaires value above everything else, above the jets, above the mansions, above every material thing the world sold you. Welcome to ZestifyUp, where we don't just talk about success, we build it. This channel exists for one reason, to amplify your potential, not someday, right now. Stay with me. Because Chapter 8 explains why many billionaires spend their entire lives chasing something money still cannot buy. Let's go. Robert worked at the same firm for 31 years. Same desk, same coffee, never late once. On his last day, they gave him a supermarket cake and a card. He had traded 62,000 hours of his life for a handshake. That story isn't sad, it's a warning. Robert didn't lose money, he lost his time, and time is the only currency that can never be printed again. So what do billionaires actually want once they already have money? The answer isn't what most people think. It's not another private jet. It's not another mansion. It's not another luxury watch. In fact, many of them don't even want more money. They want stress-free Tuesdays. They want slow, unhurried mornings. They want the freedom to wake up and say, not today. They want choices, they want peace, and most of all, they want ownership of their own time. You can lose money and make it back. You can lose a client and win 3 more. But the hour you wasted this morning, gone. Permanently, forever. Mark Cuban hates meetings. He schedules them for 5 minutes if he can. Not because he's arrogant, because he calculated what 1 hour of his attention is worth. Jeff Bezos guards his mornings like a vault. No big decisions after noon, because mental energy is finite, and he refuses to waste it. The wealthy don't try to do more, they do less, with absolute precision. They outsource, delegate, automate, not because they're lazy, because they know what their time is actually worth. The person who controls their calendar controls their destiny. Action step. Audit your next 24 hours. Go through everything and ask one question. Is this the highest use of my time, or just the comfortable use of it? The endless scrolling. The meetings that should have been a message. The yes you gave when your gut said no. Start removing. Start protecting. Because the clock is already running. The only question is, who are you letting spend it? October 5th, 2011. Steve Jobs changed industries most people thought could never be changed. And then, at 56, it was over. Not a single dollar could buy him one more morning. We spend our 20s trading sleep for hustle, our 30s trading meals for meetings, our 40s wondering why we're exhausted and broken. That's not discipline. That's borrowing from a bank that gives no loans. Richard Branson says his daily workout gives him 4 extra hours of productivity every single day. 4 hours, every day, just from protecting his body. Jeff Bezos rebuilt his physical health in his 50s, not for looks, because the next chapter of building required a different level of energy. Zuckerberg trains in martial arts, because leadership is an endurance sport. Physical resilience is mental clarity, and mental clarity is your greatest competitive edge. Billionaires don't treat health as a reward that arrives after the success. They treat it as the foundation everything else is built on. They don't want 6 packs, they want 10 more years of clear thinking. When you feel better, you think better. When you think better, you build better. Action step. This week, 1 non-negotiable commitment to your body. Move, eat real food, sleep without guilt, drink water, get sunlight. Average people wait for their health to fail. The wealthy invest before it ever does. Your body is your first empire. Build it like one. Elon Musk wanted to build a rocket. No aerospace degree, no government contacts, no team. So he went to a bookshop. He bought every textbook on rocket propulsion he could find, taught himself the physics, then hired the best engineers alive and asked them questions they had never been asked before. By every conventional measure, he was unqualified. He did it anyway. Warren Buffett reads 500 pages every single day, not headlines, not feeds. 500 pages of books, reports, biographies. Knowledge compounds like interest. The more you know, the faster you see what others miss. But here's the part most people skip. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. They don't just read, they mine for principles, frameworks, mental models they can use today. While the world consumes entertainment, they consume wisdom. And the compound interest of wisdom is a life the entertained can barely imagine. Action step: replace 20 minutes of mindless content every day with intentional learning. A book, a podcast, a mentor conversation, something that builds you. Your mind is a mine. Most people never dig deep enough to discover what they're standing on. A 21-year-old from Nebraska walks into a lecture hall at Columbia University. He'd already been rejected by Harvard. Didn't matter. He was there for one man, Benjamin Graham, the greatest investor of his generation. That one relationship set Warren Buffett on a trajectory that made him the most successful investor in human history. One relationship. One trajectory. One life completely altered. Years later, Charlie Munger, the partner who transformed how Buffett saw everything. He said, "I would not be who I am without Charlie." Full stop. The richest investor alive, and crediting a relationship.
Oprah says her greatest assets were never cameras or TV deals. They were the mentors who pushed her, the truth tellers who refused to let her play small.
Your network doesn't just equal your net worth. It shapes your thinking. And your thinking shapes everything. Billionaires don't just network, they curate. Not every person deserves access to your energy. They don't argue in comment sections. Don't keep toxic people around for history's sake. Don't shrink their ambition to make someone else comfortable. Depth over noise, loyalty over popularity, quality over crowd. Stop chasing followers. Start building allies, because your relationships will build your reality. Stop chasing followers. Start building allies, because your relationships will build your reality. Action step: audit your inner circle. Who expands your thinking? Who shrinks it? Who believes in the version of you that you're still becoming? ZestifyUp was built for people who want allies, not noise. If that's you, you're already in the right room. There is a type of chess player, rare, dangerous, who never shows their strategy until the game is already over. By the time you understand what they were doing, you've already lost. Many of the most powerful people in the world move exactly like that. Before every Apple launch, Jobs went dark. Silence, solitude, no hints. When he emerged, the world stopped. Bezos speaks rarely, moves quietly, makes decisions that take years to land, while the world screams about this week's news cycle. Buffett spends 80% of his working day reading, alone, in silence, not mysterious, strategic. We've been sold a lie. That visibility equals value, that announcing equals achieving. It doesn't. Average people announce goals. Exceptional people announce results. Elite people often announce nothing. When you announce your dream before it's built, you burn the energy it needs to become real. When you're always reachable, you're always interruptible. When you perform your life for an audience, you make decisions for them instead of your future. Attention is expensive. Silence is an asset. Focus is the scarcest resource in the modern world. They don't want followers. They want the freedom to make mistakes in private. Your inputs become your thoughts. Your thoughts become your decisions. Your decisions become your life. Action step: protect 1 hour every day from all external input. No phone, no news, no other people's opinions. In that silence, you'll hear things about yourself that the noise has been drowning out for years. Silence is not the absence of power. Silence is where power is built. Two people, both 25, both earn the same income. Daniel earns $5,000 a month, spends $4,900, saves $100. Calls himself responsible. Maya earns $5,000 a month, invests $500 automatically every single month without exception. 30 years later, Daniel has a savings account and quiet anxiety. Maya has over $500,000 from one habit without touching it once. Most people work for money their entire lives. The wealthy eventually build systems where money earns money. Buffett bought his first stock at 11. By 30, capital was compounding while he slept. Rihanna didn't become a billionaire from music. She became one because she understood ownership. Fenty Beauty wasn't a product launch, it was an investment in something she owned. The artist creates attention. The owner creates wealth. Billionaires don't buy luxuries, they buy assets, and let the assets pay for the luxuries. Action step: list 3 things you spend money on to look wealthy, instead of become wealthy. Redirect even a fraction into something that multiplies. Index funds, a skill, your own brand. Stop spending your money, start planting it. There's a moment every driven person knows. You finally get the thing you worked for, the promotion, the money, the recognition, and for a moment, it feels like enough. And then the moment passes, and the noise in your head is still there. The anxiety, the restlessness, the voice that whispers, "What's next? Is this it? What if it falls apart?" That voice doesn't go quiet when the money arrives. It gets louder, because now there's more to lose. Eventually, many wealthy people stop asking, "How can I earn more?" and start asking, "How can I wake up tomorrow feeling whole?" After enough money, what many wealthy people secretly want is an ordinary morning with nobody asking them for anything. Naval Ravikant said something worth sitting with: cannot be bought, must be earned. Billionaires engineer peace the same way they engineer their companies. They block access to their mental environment, cut relationships that corrode, choose their information diet with precision. The quality of your inner world determines the quality of everything that comes from it. Action step: identify one thing this week that is costing you peace. A news cycle keeping you in fear, a draining group chat, an obligation you kept out of guilt. Remove it, reduce it, build a wall around it. Peace is not passive. Peace is a daily intentional act of self-ownership. ZestifyUp was built to help you build a life you actually want to live, in your body, your mind, your spirit. That is the real wealth, and you deserve it. I want you to do something right now. Imagine your final day, your last day on Earth. Not in a dark way, in the most honest way you've ever allowed yourself. What will remain? Whose life changed because you lived? What would not exist in this world if you had never shown up? Most people have never seriously asked that question. It is the most important question a human being can ask. Bezos built Amazon with a vision extending decades forward. He asked himself, at 80 years old, looking back, which choices would I regret not making? He was playing a game most people don't even know exists. Steve Jobs didn't want to sell computers. He wanted to put a dent in the universe. Not a moment, not a trend, a dent, permanent, unmistakable, irreversible. Oprah said something I have never forgotten. Your legacy is every life you've touched, not your bank account, not your follow account. Every life you touched. Most people die twice. The first time when their body stops breathing. The second time when somebody speaks their name for the last time. Build a legacy that refuses the second death. The child who grew up with more belief because of you. The person who watched a video and decided to keep going. That currency compounds longer than money ever can. Legacy is not built at the end of your life. It is built in every decision you make today. Every day you are either building a legacy or eroding one. There is no neutral ground. Action step, the most important one in this entire video. Right now, after this, Write down one idea, one project, one message you want the world to have because you existed. Then do one action towards it. Today. Not a plan, one action. Legacy doesn't begin when you're ready. It begins when you decide. Type legacy in the comments. Tell me what you're building. I genuinely want to know. Today we discussed 8 things: time, health, learning, relationships, privacy, investing, peace, legacy. These are not habits, but an operating system. Please wake up. Nobody is coming. Not luck, not timing, not your boss, not some future version of yourself who finally has it figured out. And strangely enough, that should excite you. Because if nobody is coming, nobody gets to stop you either. You were not born to stay small. You were not born to exhaust yourself and call it a life. You were not born to spend your one existence chasing things that don't even satisfy the people who already have them. You were born to lead, to build, to matter, to leave something behind that lasts. Every chapter today was an invitation to reclaim your time, honor your body, choose your circle, build in silence, plant your money, pursue your peace, decide your legacy. If even one chapter lit something on fire inside you, do not let that feeling fade. That fire is your potential trying to get your attention. Listen to it. Type, "I'm ready," in the comments right now. Not tomorrow. Not when life is easier. Now. Billionaire thinking doesn't start with money. It starts with a decision. And your time to decide? It starts right now.